Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and we all just witnessed the most phone it in 7 out of 10 conference I think I've ever witnessed. I don't really say that as an insult. When it came to Opening Night Live 2023, Jeff Keighley, he's a man who communicates through the hype. I'm not saying he always delivers on the hype, but when the man thinks he has something pretty golden that no one else has seen before, he lets you know you should be excited and you should tune in. I say that because it's my job to cover this stuff, and it wasn't up until yesterday I went, oh, I should put that on the calendar. Normally I stream these things. I'm still pretty sick, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to chill. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a big deal type show. I'm glad I didn't force the stream. I'm just going to watch it here comfortably, take some notes, and talk about it afterwards. So that's what we're doing here today. If you missed the conference, I got you. We're going to round things up and just have a nice conversation. So let's get into it, because a lot was shown off in this 2-hour showcase. First thing that was shown off was an extensive preview of Starfield, and Bethesda, just being the masters of saying a lot but nothing of value at all, did just that with Starfield. So we got a theater presentation with Einon Zur. You heard some of the music with Starfield. You got a couple of looks at the planets that were there. No real new gameplay. And then a new Starfield live action trailer debut. So to those of you out there who are a bit worried, yo, wait, hold on, where's the Starfield marketing? I told you all those last 2 weeks of the month, they're going to heat up, let Bethesda cook, and that's exactly what they're doing here. This is likely going to be the commercial you're going to see all over your television for the next few weeks promoting Starfield, so they're going all in. I have to say the tone and what they captured with this trailer, I was a big fan of. But when you see Todd Howard hit the stage, that's when you're like, okay, they're going to pop off with some information. And it was more of the same, in my opinion. It was, yeah, we're really excited. There's things that we've shown off that you don't know about. We can't wait for everyone to play. And I went, this is our Todd Howard. This man hasn't let a single thing slip. So barring any leaks, Bethesda, I can confidently say, is protecting the hell out of this game. And I love that approach. The hype is there. The anticipation is there. Just let that do the work for you. And so while it was talking about the story on stage with Todd Howard, they didn't say anything new at all. But it was still good to see different pieces of Starfield marketing material there on stage. Afterwards, we got to look at Little Nightmares 3 with its reveal. It's coming out 2024. I've never played Little Nightmares before, but this looks really cool, especially this kind of creepy co-op action. The fact that it's made 3 entries in the series and it's published by Bandai also kind of catches my interest. I'm like, okay, they feel they have something here and it's doing well enough to keep investing in it. So what is this? So one of these days, I want to get around to it. Afterwards, we laid our eyes on Black Myth Wukong. This is one of those games that I remember when we first saw. It was that no way this is real type of game. It comes from Game Science, who's located in China. And then as it's shown more of itself, I've kind of cooled off on Black Myth Wukong. It still looks interesting, but there are two things that communicate to me in this inadvertent way that you're inspired by a Souls game. It's your camera versus the body of the character you're playing as and the scale of the boss, which this game had. And also that strafe as you're locked on and you're circling this big target. This game had that too. I didn't really expect the Souls-like vibes here, but I like how they leaned more into the action-adventure stuff I was expecting, where you saw a ton of deflecting ongoing, which was really cool. This game still looks interesting. No release date or window attached to it yet. Feels like we've been hearing about it for a while, but it's coming to all the systems, all the consoles, so that at least is good. But Black Myth Wukong re-showing itself once more, and I mean, it does look solid, but overall, there's not much to get a gauge of. Like, I feel they could have shown more actual gameplay, but it was like someone was hesitant to press a button on the controller throughout the entire trailer. So I don't read that with much confidence personally. Afterwards, we got to look at Killing Floor 3. This one was a bit of a surprise to me. My biggest memory with Killing Floor was Killing Floor 2 coming out for free on PlayStation Plus, and that was an easy platinum trophy, so your boy was all over it. I want to get back to my platinum trophy hunt and grind, but nonetheless, Killing Floor 3 looked like a really good time. The trailer was really gory and messed up, and so I have high hopes for this one, because I really, out of all the Horde games I've played in the last decade, Killing Floor 2 was one that really stuck with me, and my friends and I still talk about from time to time. It's not like I'm playing any of these games still, but definitely Killing Floor 2 was convincingly fun enough for me to want to go in and play Killing Floor 3. So definitely looking forward to this one. And Xbox had a pretty steady presence throughout this entire showcase, as we got a new reveal that had been rumored and leaked for a while Age of Empires 4 is available right now on console. So I like Xbox, Bethesda, taking notes from each other's playbooks here. Another kind of shadow drop, if you will. Granted, this one a little bit more safer of a shadow drop. You've had it on PC for about over a year now. So dropping it on consoles, you can kind of safely do that. To have it available right now is cool, so you can go ahead and install it and play it if you want. I already have a review up for Age of Empires 4 for the PC version. If you want to go ahead and check that out, I have not played the console version at all. But if you're interested in the game, you have the Matty coverage right there for you. Overall, I thought it was a really good time. Like, it was very addicting. It's RTS games and then Civilization style games, which Xbox is publishing one that looks very dangerous we'll talk about as well, where these are the games I dip my toe into and kind of step back from because they will consume my life. And so Age of Empires 4, like, I lean more towards the Civ style game, which Age of Empires 4 really isn't. It's more RTS, but it's still a really good time. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Afterwards, really weird moment here. A lot of weird moments throughout this where I said it was like such a phone it in kind of conference where you'd get things like Zack Snyder hitting the stage to talk about his movie on Netflix, Rebel Moon. And now they did announce that they're expanding this universe with a partnership through Super Evil Megacorp. And they're going to be doing like picking your own rebel and going on co-op missions. So I did some research into Super Evil Megacorp. Yeah, they only have done mobile games. So my guess is that this is going to be part of the Netflix gaming app that they have, where mostly mobile-focused experiences are there. We have yet to see some type of console quality game. I guess Oxenfree 2 could be there, but that, again, visually isn't of a console quality in my humble opinion. So I would not have high hopes if you are really looking forward to something Rebel Moon related. But they had lots of breaks throughout for like Green Studio of the Year award and hey, how do you like cosplaying? It felt like they had to pad out the show to hit that 2-hour window for sure. But afterwards, we saw what I thought was actually probably game of the show. It was Crimson Desert, Pearl Abyss. I mean, this thing looks sick. There were so many moments I went, they could have ended the trailer. I would have been happy. At first I went, oh, it's kind of Assassin's Creed Valhalla inspired, the Viking-like world. And then you see some of the Assassin's Creed elements in the climbing the sides of buildings. But then I saw very much Dragon's Dogma, Shadow of the Colossus, like climbing these big boss figures. And then I saw Tears of the Kingdom with the floating sky castles. I'm like, this game had the ability to see the future and take a page out of everyone's notebook. And this is what I love about video games personally. Like, this is that video game-ass video game. If I could take a page out of Jake Baldino's book I'm going to here, this is exactly what I think of. Like, does not hesitate to show its inspirations across the board, but because it's going in so many different directions and doing a lot of cool different things that look like they're doing it well. Like, he was vaulting over into a fortress, he was bodying people and sending them flying. There was impact to the combat and the movement. Because it's doing all these things and it looks like it's doing them well, it may have the clear inspirations, but it creates an identity for itself because it may be doing all those amazing things that these games really focused on individually and bringing them into one. And so, yeah, Crimson Desert, this game, no release date or window, but this one on the radar for sure. It looks awesome. Very open-ended. I love games with free open movement, which this game seemed to have, so I'm a huge fan of what we saw there. Afterwards, we got to look at a new Payday 3 trailer. This is day one on Game Pass. I never got into the beta to try out Payday 3, but it looks like a good time. I really hope that it's as fun as Payday 2 was. I mean, the shooting in Payday 2 was less than adequate, so the fact that I hung around for Payday 2 for so long is a testament to the mission design and trying to stealthily get through things, so I'm hoping that Payday 3 does deliver. Afterwards, we saw more of Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm very excited for this game, and I thought it was wise for Ubisoft to move up their release date. We also know that Alan Wake 2 moved theirs back, so we're starting to get a little bit of a better spread for the month of October, although there are some announcements here that, yeah, it's still a pretty jam-packed month, and I wish someone would bend the knee and just move to November. Since when was that a bad month to launch a game? I know Call of Duty's November 10th, but come on now. Someone step into November, for the love of God. Beyond Star Ocean ARP. Someone else. But AC Mirage, I can't wait for that classic Assassin's Creed vibe, so this one's absolutely on the list as a must-play for me this year. Tekken 8, man, y'all don't know enough about Matty and his fighting games. Like, there was this one year where we had Tekken 7 and we had Dragon Ball Fighters in the rotation. And when I look at all the fighting games I played in my lifetime, that was one of my favorite moments, just enjoying both of those at the same time. Tekken is arguably my favorite 3D style fighter, and I cannot wait for Tekken 8. So they showed off Arcade Quest, which gave me kind of Street Fighter 6 vibes, but a lot more chibi. And then they gave a release date of January 26, 2024, based off what some people were analyzing with the fiscal year windows and what Bandai had recently said on how they were releasing like 2 major games by March of 2024. A lot of the math suggested this would be like a February game, but to see it coming out in January, yo, I will be all over this one. I cannot wait. Bandai putting out some good stuff lately. Afterwards, MW3, they talked about open world zombies. They're working with Infinity War on the story. Some of the stuff they described gave me a Halo Infinite vibe in the terms of approachability to the missions and how they're more open and customizable. But the gameplay that was actually shown off was your standard fare. It was, you know, the stealth kill up against the wall, the tango down, you know, that all that stuff, the night vision goggle mission. It was very by the books Call of Duty, in my opinion. I am interested in what they were talking about, and open world zombies, I'm very interested to see what they had in mind for that. That sounds particularly ambitious. I personally haven't been in love with zombies for a while, but this is coming out November 10th, and if the deal concludes for Activision Blizzard and Xbox, this should be day one Game Pass. So moving on, we have Nightingale. Early access begins February 22nd, 2024. This one we've seen a lot of times, particularly at any of Jeff's shows. And yeah, it's a survival game, so I'm not too crazy about it. Then we get a JRPG-a-thon, particularly the Hoyoverse really pumping some stuff out. But it begins with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. It's coming out February 1st, 2024. I gotta say, the first trailer for this game didn't win me over when we talked about it a couple months back, but I am a fan of this one, and it did start to bring me in a little bit more where it looks more bombastic and bigger than I actually thought it was going to be, and the combat looks really fun. So while it originally wasn't on my JRPG playlist, I might make time for Grand Blue Fantasy. The story and the acting has yet to capture me. I keep saying things are by the books or kind of phoning it in, but that's the vibe I got throughout this entire conference. But this was a by the books JRPG trailer, like just random voice lines from epic points in the game that you have zero context about as things are happening on screen in rapid manner. Just very much a JRPG trailer. And then we got more JRPG-ness in Zenless Zone Zero and a Genshin concert announcement. Zenless Zone Zero actually looks cool. It was defined as a action urban RPG. We'll see how that one turns out. I really want to like one of these Hoyoverse games. I thought that Honkai Star Rail was actually really cool. It reminded me of Trails, which is one of my favorite gaming series. For those who don't know, it was clearly inspired by it. And so Zenless Zone Zero is more of an action RPG, so I'm interested to see where they go in this direction. But you can tell Genshin's making them a lot of money with how much games they are putting out and marketing at the same time. Afterwards, we got to look at Lords of the Fallen coming out October 13th, a brand new story trailer. This one looks fantastic. Like, I am very excited to play this one. I feel like because since Elden Ring, I haven't really touched any Souls-like games. Between this and Lies of P, I feel renewed and ready to dive into these worlds once more. So I'm very excited about this one. But what I'm more excited about potentially is the future of the Blue Blur. Look, Sonic is back, y'all, and as a former Sonic hater, I gotta say, they have won me over and then some. And Sonic Superstars looks like such a good, wholesome time, especially with friends. I cannot wait, but it's coming out in October 17th. Why? I mean, is Sega looking at like, hey, we went up against God of War Ragnarok and had the best-selling Sonic game ever. Are we going to do it again when a 2D Mario game's coming out? We're going to put out this 2D Sonic game. I mean, that's some real 90s marketing right there. They can tap and lean right into that if they'd like. Maybe that's the play, but I gotta say, as a gamer, I would like for Sega to kind of move their date back out of the thick of October, because if it's a November game, I mean, that's a perfect window for Sonic. And then they showed off a new teaser for an update coming to Sonic Frontiers for free called The Final Horizon, with brand new story content, new challenges and whatnot, new playable characters. The fact that it's free is a testament to how well the game is doing. I will be there no matter what. I loved Sonic Frontiers. I mean, it's flawed, but I thought that was a great video game and a good starting point to renew the faith in 3D Sonic for sure. But oh my gosh, new playable characters. Like, I know they're setting the stage for this Sonic Adventure style follow-up where you get to play as all these different characters from the Sonic verse. And oh my god, if they get Shadow in one of these days, oh my god. Dude, I love Shadow. They gotta get him in the Sonic Frontier sequel. I will screech. All right, Nexon is up next. They were here quite a bit. They showed off the first Descendant, which has a cross-play open beta, which was kind of a bait and switch for me. I recognized the name, but then I went, oh, right, this is the game that has online gameplay. It's going from September 19th to the 25th. To me, it didn't particularly stand out. And this was kind of what I would say is the stretch of uninspired things. So if you'll have to excuse me if I kind of sprint right through this section. I don't have many interesting things to say on this, but I still want to show them off. So we have Under the Waves coming out August 29th. We have Fort Solace getting promotional material, which came out today and has received pretty mediocre reviews. And they talked about something with Troy Baker's ass, which I really didn't get, but yeah, this doesn't look like it's all shaping up that well. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, is coming 2024, so for those of you looking for a more Zen-like experience, this actually looks pretty cool. The Crew is still alive and kicking with the Crew Motorfest, which is coming September 14th, but now we gotta pause, okay? Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, come on outside. Take a bow. This looks amazing. So, new ways to play. There's vehicle combat, but you can use quick hacks in your vehicle where you made them self-destruct. For me, as someone who did a quick hack build, brilliant stuff there. They revamped the police system, combat AI overhaul, new level cap, new story quests. A lot of the stuff that was shown here is coming for free as part of the Cyberpunk 2.0 update. Shout out to CD Projekt Red. They could have quit, easily got into their very comfortable corner with The Witcher 3. They stuck with it between Edge Runners, all the updates they poured into the game. Now Phantom Liberty shaping up to look fantastic. And then all these updates here, which just on their own justify a brand new playthrough. Y'all, Phantom Liberty looks like that dude. And I am going to be there day one. I cannot wait. Excellent trailer there. We learned that Xbox is the green studio of the year, which I found quite interesting and honestly a bit surprising given that they're part of Microsoft, this big megacorp, but props to them for making the planet a little more sustainable. Then we saw The Last Epoch by 11th Hour Games, which showed off their latest class and gameplay. It's coming out September 7th, and I really like the story behind this game. I didn't know about this, but the fact that it started off as like a little Reddit page, and they said, you know, what would be the best action RPG? And then they started making it, like, that's cool stuff. As an indie dev, I find that awesome because that's the type of developed by the fans, for the fans type mentality I can always get behind. So I'm very interested in this game now. Marvel Snap showed up and it's out on Steam now. They've actually rebuilt the entire game for PC. I feel like every time I talk about this game, I say I want to give it a shot. So I'm going to say it again. I want to give it a shot. I got to find the right moment where I can easily be distracted and not have to worry too much about having a little card game addiction. But probably by that point, when the Dragon Ball Super card game comes out on digital, ooh boy, see ya, every other video game coming out. I'm going to be a busy man with that one. Afterwards, we saw a lot of Game Pass promos. I like that Xbox was really a part of this show in a big way. More Armored Core 6 gameplay that's coming out this week, so this was a pretty good fit, and honestly can be a pretty big surprise for people who are really looking at FromSoft in a different angle. Nexon showed up once more and put up a trailer for Warhaven, which is free to play, coming September 21st. This was definitely, to me, arguably the worst trailer of the entire showcase. I'm sorry, but the tone felt weird. The music was not fitting for what it was. Somehow the animations looked terrible for this trailer. I didn't get a good idea of the gameplay. It felt like a trailer just trying to be as approachable and casual as possible to lure someone in who didn't know any better, because to me, I had no idea what this game was. It just was not a good trailer, especially if you're something coming out so soon. I feel I should have seen exactly what it was. Then we saw a brand new trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. Kind of tame when you look at the recent Mortal Kombat trailers. This was a story trailer, so my guess is that this is the one we're going to see, you know, in the YouTube videos before they go live and maybe on television where, you know, it's not people getting their skeleton ripped out of their body, which we did see in the fatality at the end, but it was the really only gruesome part where some of these trailers we were seeing before were like, oh man, like they really make your stomach do a flip. But this game looks incredible. And for Retro Rebound, we are actually preparing a little bit of something, as you can see here, so stay tuned over there. You may see a video in your sub boxes coming soon on Mortal Kombat games. Now, continuing on, another Xbox showing, Aura History Untold by Oxide Games. It's coming 2024, no release date itself, but we got some gameplay, and Oh boy. Oh boy. So I know people don't know me for these types of games, but again, the Civilization style game is my kryptonite. It really is. I always tell this story. I'll tell it again. I played Civilization 5 in college. Maddie had all the free time in the world. I saw 18 hours blink just like that. And I went, you know what? I feel like this could become dangerous. So self-control took over. I uninstalled the game. I never touched it again. And I've just sort of cut myself off from that type of game because I was like, that was one of the most incredible experiences that I have had. And so Aura History Untold, Lord help me if I get a review code. That might be, I might have to let go of some of my house duties here while I take care of business. We got some rapid fire reveals in a new season for Diablo 4 coming this fall on October 17th. Dustborn is coming early 2024, and Thank Goodness You're Here is also arriving 2024. Some quick trailers for each of these, but honestly, Diablo 4, I haven't been too impressed with the post-game. Dustborn, I wasn't too impressed with the dialogue and the storytelling, which you can tell, if you know my style of review, you know I'm very harsh on narrative because I just feel that some of the writing and standards have continued to lower, and it's like, no. Raise your game. I wasn't getting that feeling here with Dustborn. And then Thank Goodness You're Here was very fun and playful, but didn't get an idea of what the game actually was. And so the show wraps up with the phenomenal looking Alan Wake 2. Remedy is cooking right now. Let them stay in the kitchen as long as they want. They are making something masterful here, y'all. Look, Alan Wake 1 was fantastic, but I love that Remedy has always experimented with, you guessed it, storytelling. Now, I gotta be honest. I gotta give myself the L. I have not played Control yet. I gotta right that wrong before Alan Wake 2. But one thing I do appreciate from Remedy, which people don't talk a lot about, is Quantum Break. I loved how they kind of made a TV show and attached it to a video game, and I thought it was really unique for its time, and I still think it's one of the most underappreciated Xbox exclusives. That's just my hot take. I get it if you disagree with it, because it wasn't Remedy's best game, but I think it was one of their most unique ones. And so with Alan Wake 2, when they said, yeah, we did some live action stuff, but the way we bled it into the game is very different. I was like, okay, how, I'm thinking of the typical way things are presented, but the way they were bringing things to life with Alan Wake in the real world and how he was dreaming certain things into the game. It was like a mind screwy trailer, and I love what they're doing, man. I just think it looks fun to play, looks super creepy, super unsettling compared to the first one. The first one I played in like high school, and I was like, okay, that was a little bit creepy. I remember playing it with like the lights off and everything, but Alan Wake 2 looks downright scary in my opinion. So overall, that's everything we saw at the show. You may notice like, wow, there was the big reveals. In fairness, Jeff didn't really hype it up that way. And so that's why, to me, it's like, that wasn't awful. It wasn't very good, though. So it just kind of fell right in the middle, right? 7 out of 10, through and through. 6 out of 10, maybe. Who knows? I don't do number scores here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything on Opening Night Live 2023. I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts, so fire away down below. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, and a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.